And it's great to be with you. Are you in need of a holiday? That's the question I need to ask. Well, you can fly to Fiji from only $567 return. Simply go in-store or call Flight Centre now on 131 600. That's 131 600. Now, do you realise that if a kid is late for school almost every day, and I'm assuming lots are late almost every day, it could add up to the equivalent of an entire term or even a whole year of absence from school over the course of their school life. Imagine that, missing out on a whole term over the years or a whole year. That's why the Education Department has introduced a new attendance strategy to make sure our kids aren't missing too much school. Let's have a talk to a lady that had a lot to do with putting this program together. It's Gail Little, who's the principal of the East Torrens Primary School. Hi, Gail.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. How did this come about? You were one of the architects of this, which has now been, or hopefully being adopted statewide throughout the department. Yeah. But it began in your school. How did it come about?
Well, the department put together the attendance strategy through a whole lot of their project offices and things, but they came to our school because we were taking a simple but different approach to it, and that was that we believe that we could raise our attendance by investing in our students. We believe that students need to be in control and understand why attendance is important. So we thought if we work through this, it would really help parents, because when your children are older, it's very hard to pull them out of bed and get them to high school.
Yeah.
But if they, from the early years, from preschool onwards, understand why attendance is important and we take them through in a positive way, well then we believe that they will increase their attendance and also keep it up and understand the importance for their social connections. Not because learning and being happy at school and feeling valued at school is also part of it.
So did you have a low attendance before this?
We had about 80. We were averaging about 87 to 88%, and at that stage, the department's strategic target for attendance was 80. It was 93%.
Okay, so you were a bit below.
It wasn't. It was, and we thought that the department, our own education department, it was a very good thing to focus on, because attendance is all about well-being as well. You lose your connections with your friends and your teachers. You miss that continuity in learning. So we thought, let's have a rethink. We think students are very smart and that they can do far more than what we expect. So we thought they could own this if we talk to them about it in a positive way, make them proud of their attendance, have them look at the data and track their own data. And we have a couple of mantras or sayings that we have: attendance matters at East Torrens Primary and learning matters at East Torrens Primary. But even our little receptions can tell you what that means.
I would imagine there'd be a certain percentage of kids who are, got low attendance or poor attendance record. It's because of what's happening at home. Mum and dad really don't give a toss or whatever. How do you get the kid to actually take control of that? Is that a real challenge?
I think that's a challenge in every school across the state. And
I guess not just about attendance, it's about engagement, isn't it?
And sometimes, if you're battling poverty or unemployment, or you've moved house, or you've been redundant out of your job, or a whole lot of other things can happen in a family, that it isn't any fault of the families. It's really important that we go out and support those families and spend a long time with them so that we can go through all of the options that they have. And I commend the department. I mean, I work for the department, but I commend the department on the number of social workers they're employing to go out and work with people like Martha and go out to those families and with a no-blame attitude say, let's help you and support you.
Under this program, an additional 11 attendance and engagement social workers are going to be employed. That'll bring the total throughout the entire department to 33 to look after the entire state. Yeah.
And it's about our society too. I mean, it's about valued place in our society and being able to feel worthwhile. And that can be really important when families are struggling. They need the respect that we show them, that we're there to help them.
Also with us is Martha, who Gail's been mentioning. You're the Wellbeing and Engagement Leader at the school, so you're just as equally as responsible, so congratulations to you as well.
Thank you.
Has this been a bit of a challenge actually putting this together, or did the kids rise to the occasion and say, hey, here's a wonderful opportunity?
This is fantastic. The students are all actively involved in this, and we've actually found that it's really powerful in allowing students to see their data. Now, no one is shamed about their attendance, but it's something that belongs to them. So as a group, as a class, the students, when they see their attendance, they always say, oh, what's my attendance? You know, what percentage have I got? And then they get together and interact with the other students in the class, their friends, and say, how much did you get? What's your attendance? From there, what they do is draw up graphs and analyse their data. So, and that's what's become really powerful,
right,
because they actually analyse their data by drawing up what they've got in front of them that has been printed off from our data management system, and from there they make goals and strive to do so much better. Even our high achievers with 100% attendance regularly, and we have quite a few with high attendance like that, they still aim and strive to improve their attendance. And it's really powerful for the children.
So it becomes competitive, but in a healthy way.
But in a healthy way. It's a positive program, like Gail mentions. It is a really positive program for the students.
Well, we have a student with us, Ashkar Merchant. How are you? Year 6.
Good, thank you, sir.
Yeah. How have you found this? Do you take part in this program?
Yes, I do. I think it's amazing because we have to know what we got and how we could improve. And like Miss Martha usually comes into our class and gives us our data, and we graph it and we analyse it and set goals for the upcoming term.
Are there some kids, though, in your class or in your school that don't want to go to school? I mean, you obviously love school. I can tell that just by looking at your face. You do love school, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you seem a really engaged individual, I've got to say, mate. But are there kids that just hate school and don't want to be there?
No. East Torrens staff and students make sure that we have a welcoming environment for every student. So that's why nobody hates school. Everybody loves East Torrens Primary School.
That's fantastic. You haven't drilled that into him, have you?
I was going to say, we did not tell him to say that.
This has been like a 3-year program. I just want to tell anyone out there that's listening, there's no quick fix to attendance. This has been a lot of hard work. And, the staff and all the students, because it's also mixed up with exactly what Ashkar's saying, how our teachers welcome children when they arrive at school. And if they've been away, not saying, you've been away, which they don't do. It's about the whole school culture and making students feel very welcome. If you feel you belong, I think that you will come to school like you come to work, and you need to feel that sense of belonging, a sense of fun, a sense that you're valued and you have a place there. I think that's really important for young people, and we need to work really hard at that.
Does that always work, Martha, with, as I say, some kids that, just simply hate school? I don't want to be here. This is the last place I want to be every day.
I think there is students that we need to really work hard in trying to get to engage in school. And again, like Gail says, there's no easy fix to that. It's sheer hard work. But what we do, it's not just about getting them to look at their data and work with each other in their attendance. But it's about making sure that the environment is a safe place, making sure that we have a really positive relationship with the families. And with some families, you've got to work really hard with that, but most families are really on board because they know that our priority is their child. And so the best interest in all of us is bringing out the best in their child. So if they have difficulties, and Gail did mention this earlier, there is a lot of complex issues out there that families face, but linking in with them, talking to them, building up that trust and engaging with the families and the student really you build that trust, and they do want to connect, and they also know that we can support them and we're not judgmental in any issue that they're facing. So it takes time sometimes to re-engage a student if they've been not engaged, but there's a whole team out there. Not only is it the teachers and the school and, building that trust and that engaging with the family, it's also, if the child needs support, we have attendance counsellors, we have psychologists on board where they can assess them and see how their learning is, what needs do we have to provide for them in the classroom. There might be multiple layers of issues, so there is resources out there that we can tap into and help the family. So we've got a team around the child approach, and we look at the whole child. With
great success, by all accounts. Interesting conversation. Would be happy to hear your views on the trials and tribulations you've had of getting your kids to regularly attend school, or if you've had a problem, give us a call, 8223 0000. And it's great to have your company. It's, about 13 minutes away from 2 o'clock. We're talking about the Education's Department attendance strategy, and a great example of it can be found at the East Torrens Primary School. We've got the principal, Gail Little, with us, and we've also got Martha Pampo. Help me here, Martha.
Pampakidas.
Thank you very much. And we've also got one of the stars of the school, Ashgar Merchant, with us. Hey, still here? Yeah. Hey, listen, what's your story? How long have you been at the school, and where are you from?
I came 1 year ago to East Torrens Primary School, and I'm from India.
And how long have you been in Australia?
For 4 years.
You've got a really good Australian accent, I've got to say.
Thanks.
So what did you... so comparing the school in India to what's happening here, has this been a great experience?
It has been.
Because it would have been difficult changing, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it was, because in India we it's a bit more strict, and over here they make sure we do it in a fun manner.
And that's working?
And it is certainly working.
And what would you like to do when you grow up?
I'm still thinking about it.
Good man, so am I. I don't know what I want to do yet. Listen, let's come back to you, Martha, as the Wellbeing and Engagement leader. What about people who might put up the issue of, look, I've got a doctor's appointment, or I've got a dental appointment, or whatever?
Okay, I've got a great story. When we first started going into classrooms with this data and getting the students to be engaged in their data and developing their graphs and all the things that we do with the attendance data, one particular boy comes to mind, but there's been many, but one particular boy comes to mind who was looking at his data and says, I need to improve. And so he continuously would find me out in the yard or come into my office and say, what's my data like? What's my data? Have I improved? And he said, when I went to his classroom, he said, Miss Martha, I told Mum we cannot go to the dentist. So his mum had made a dentist appointment and said, I'll be picking you up earlier from school so we can get to this dentist. And he said, no, I told her we can't go to the dentist. You have to do it after school because it really affects my attendance data, and I'm trying to improve my attendance data. So this is the power. This is students owning their data, and it's really powerful because, like Gail said, it's not us telling them
the kids
or telling
are doing
parents.
It themselves.
The kids are doing themselves, and there's this buzz around the school about their attendance data and where they're at. When we hand out our certificates at assembly, students are really excited about it. They're really excited. And parents are on board too now.
Gail, the school, you've got... it's a very multicultural school, isn't it?
Yes,
How many different nations? 34
different cultures. We're proudly multicultural, like a lot of South Australian schools are.
Does that create a problem, though, in this, bringing in this new way of working?
No, it creates challenges for the school in that we have to be at the top of our game on welcoming people and understanding the different needs of the different cultures. It's really important when parents and students come from overseas, that we acknowledge their background and that we talk to them about what South Australian schooling's about and what the differences are. And we also support it by, and the Education Department supports it by first language maintenance too, providing first language maintenance. And we do that in Hindi, Punjabi, Dari, Farsi, Arabic and Chinese. So just a couple of hours a week, but it makes a huge difference to be able to support children in their own language. So it's that transition, as Askar said, from their schooling, it might be in India or in China or wherever they come from, and about helping the parents transition and the students. And I think all parents want their children to attend school and be successful, no matter whether you're in a little country school or, you know, a big high school or a smaller school like mine with lots of students from other countries. All parents, no matter what their income level, no matter what their circumstances, want their children to be successful.
Are there occasions, though, when the culture of a child means they have to miss school and that puts pressure back on the child because they're actually blotting their textbook as far as their attendance is concerned?
Well, a lot of the children in the intensive English program, we teach an intensive English program where we teach English in 1 year to the students and then they go into mainstream schools. They like to go back sometimes to their home country for extended holiday time, not always, but that's really important that we acknowledge that because they're linking up with families, they're keeping their culture alive, and often they ask for work to take over, or they keep a diary, or they practice their English. So I think you can find the positives in whatever challenge comes away. You just work it around so it works for you.
Yeah, absolutely. What about, are there some kids in your class, for example, Ashgar, that, couldn't really care, don't really care? Or has everyone got involved in this?
Everybody has certainly got involved in this. And whenever Miss Martha comes in, everybody rushes to her and asks Miss Martha, what's my attendance? What did I get? Am I doing good?
You must be the flavour of the month as far as teachers are concerned. Hey? Did you realise you were so popular, Martha?
I work alongside teachers in the classrooms, bringing the attendance to, make it real life for these kids. So they deal with numbers, which is fantastic because they're looking at data. Yeah. They're looking at statistics. They're looking at percentages. They're looking at numbers. So that's fantastic in itself. And reading this data and then interpreting it. But they love it.
It's an extra benefit,
powerful.
Isn't it? Those
absolutely.
Skills. Yeah.
The students say that East Torrens has made attendance cool.
Oh, okay. Do you agree, Ashgar?
I certainly do.
It's cool to go to school every day on time. What would be the advice to any other schools that might be having a bit of a struggle in this area?
I think this, as well as the department's other strategies, I would recommend investing in the students heavily. A lot of schools already do through student voice, but getting the children to understand and unpack attendance and what it means rather than just go, you're not attending and grizzling. Can't remember one grizzle we've had. It's all been positive. If you trust children and realise that they are really smart, and that's what I think Australian public schools and the private schools as well are really good at, use that great value we've got there and have the students invest in their own attendance and use the data because they'll do it for you and they're excited about it. So that's what we would recommend. It's worked really well. But again, hard work. This just doesn't happen. We can't just sit in a staff meeting and say it happens. And all the teachers are on board. So it's a whole school approach, the Governing Council, and also the partnership we're in, Campbell. They have done a lot of work on looking at data, but making data individual to children. There's a guy called John Hattie who wrote a book called Faces to the Data, and we studied it in our Campbell partnership. And I think that made a big difference because Martha and I and the leadership team were able to read that, and we said it is about individuals and what they do. And children get really excited when they own things and when they can see themselves improving.
I couldn't agree more, but I would have thought that one of the greatest challenges would be to get the parents well and truly on side. And I guess you're being smart, aren't you, because you're getting the kids to actually be that instrument for you.
Yeah,
rather than you having to ring them up and
that's
talk to them.
I still
Smart
connect with
strategy.
families. I think that's an important part of the process. It can't just, a big part is the students. However, I still have to connect with the families. I still do those home visits and connect with them and talk to them about the importance and that. But when we're working together and you've built that trust, we have a common language going on and a sense of trust with each other that we do want students to come to school, to engage. If there's issues there, we'll deal with them. And by listening to the families and working with them, with all families, you can't go wrong.
Fantastic textbook example of how the scheme can work. Congratulations to all of you, Gail, Principal,
you.
and Martha, and also Ashgar. Well done, mate. Good
you so
to meet you.
much.
And all the best with the studies.
Thank you.
Term's nearly over, mate. Nearly the holidays. You looking forward to it?
No.
No, okay.
Oh, you are.
You'll enjoy it once you get
Love
there.
school.
Thanks for coming in. Lovely to
you.
meet you, and
Thank you.
congratulations. A great initiative.
Thank you very
All the
much.
best. Fantastic. Stay with us after the break. We're going to meet a beautiful guide dog.